My body is starting to change on how it reacts to sex with my husband and I don't know what to do. Too long didn't read. For some odd reason lately my body becomes extremely sensitive when I have a vaginal orgasm. I start shivering and I can't stand my husband staying inside or even touching me down there. I was never like that before and all of my life I've been a multi-orgasm person. I don't know what's happening. I, 30F, have been married for 5 years to my husband, 32M. We're each other first love and high school sweethearts. He's my only sexual partner and I'm also his. Sex has always been great between us. He makes me orgasm every time we have sex. And if we had a quickie in the morning he makes sure that we have sex in the evening where he focuses solely on me and makes sure I'm totally satisfied. Around 2 years ago, we hit a rough patch in our marriage, and it was very hard on both of us emotionally. We choose to fight for each other, and dedicated 2 hours each day after we finish everything to talk with each other. It took us almost a year and a half, but finally we're stronger, love each other more than ever, and got over what was bothering us. One of the things that bothered us and we kept from each other was sex. When we talked we discovered that both of us had kinks that we want to try but were shy to share with each other. One of those fantasies was that I wanted him to manhandle me and be rough with me. Turned out he had the same fantasy and we did it. It was fantastic. Now, before and through our entire sex life I've never had a sensitive vagina or clitoris. I could handle thrusting during and after I had an orgasm, and even my clit didn't get too sensitive when he'd do oral sex on me. When I have orgasm from oral sex my husband would suck my clit and keep it sucked until my orgasm's waves subside and then resume licking and fondling it so I can have another one. When we had our rough sex, suddenly I couldn't handle it and I became too sensitive after my vaginal orgasm. I became too sensitive that I couldn't bear to have his penis inside and yanked it out of me. I was really surprised cause that never happened before to me, and at that moment he tried to hold me cause I was really shaking and he touched my clit and I almost passed out from the sensation. He kept holding me until I stopped spasming and calmed down but I couldn't take him again inside of me or even touch myself down there cause I became too sensitive. When he brushes against me by accident I jump. I finished him orally that night and we called it a night. The next morning I was still a little sensitive, however, by the next day everything was normal again. We had sex, regular sex this time, and the same happened. The minute I orgasmed vaginally I became too sensitive. It's becoming irritating to me by this point, cause I want him to finish as well, and I used to have more than one orgasm a night. Now one orgasm literally makes me unfuckable if that's even a word. Should I be worried? What can I do to make this go away and return back to my former self? Should we lay off sex for a while so my body can return back to its former self? I tried to ask for advice on various sex subreddits and I received no advice at all. I'd appreciate if anyone at all can help me with the situation please. I think a trip to the gyno is a good call. Get everything checked and ask them about what you've experienced and if they can offer any professional advice. It could be due to aging. In my 20s I would have multiple orgasms a day. Now I'm in my late 30s and I'm good with one orgasm every few weeks. More than that and I'm just too sensitive and it just feels like an annoying shock. How many times has this happened? If it's just a couple maybe don't have sex for a few days at least and let things settle down before trying again. If it keeps happening I would see a doctor. Perhaps you have something changing the vibe down there like an infection. Do you ever have pain during sex otherwise like during the first insertion? Otherwise, could you be pregnant? I have this problem every now and again. It used to happen more frequently but what worked was honestly just taking a break from orgasms or sex. Think it's a matter of overstimulation, just let it rest. In the meantime you can make sure he finishes with oral. I have this problem every now and again. It used to happen more frequently. Thank you. So this is not something to be alarmed about, like should I go to my gyno or something? It happens sometimes. It may be a semi-permanent change in how your body handles sex, or you may just be having a weird week or month. bodies are weird. He's gonna have to be satisfied with alternative methods of orgasm for now unless you two do quickies. All you can really do is respect what your body is saying for now. As a side note, is it possible you could be pregnant? Those hormones can mess you up. Also worth asking if there's a new medication in the mix or anything else that might be causing a hormonal change. I 42M, don't feel like my wife, 40F, is even trying anymore. My wife and I will celebrate our 19th wedding anniversary soon. We are in a committed relationship and divorce is not on the table. There is no indication of infidelity from her, and I have been 100% faithful throughout our relationship. We have 2 bow today I fucked up daughters, 12,6. And strong religious beliefs. My wife comes from a family of unhealthy people who die in their 50-60s. My family is pretty healthy and have 80 to 90-year life expectancies. I am military and keep myself in shape as an occupational necessity. I feel like she has completely let herself go. She is overweight, gaining weight, on several medications, and puts no effort into even looking nice. She constantly complains about being tired and takes 3 to 4 hour naps daily. While it seems obvious what the problem is, she has no energy because she doesn't take care of herself. She is also extremely unapproachable and oversensitive to criticism. Early on in our relationship, she established a boundary that she would refuse to take even constructive criticism and would react extremely negatively even when approached with love. She grew up in a very negative household and uses this as an excuse. Additionally, she is a highly sensitive person, has sensory processing sensitivity, so feels emotions more intensely than typical people. I have felt like a caretaker for many years. I love her and she loves me, but I have a hard time maintaining respect for her because of the constant criticism, self-righteous attitude, constant complaining, and total refusal to do anything about it. I guess what I'm asking for is advice on how to behave to get through to her, as talking to her is counterproductive. I don't want to put a wall up, though it is hard not to sometimes. Couples therapy didn't help when we tried it a long time ago. You two need to communicate with each other, no kidding doc. If we could do that we wouldn't be here. Too long didn't read, seeking advice on how to act around my wife to demonstrate my frustration because talking is counterproductive. Almost all of the advice would be talking to her lovingly, therapy, or brutal honesty. All of which you're saying is off the table. Which is pretty unhealthy. But then you want to know how to act to demonstrate your frustration, which is a completely passive-aggressive way to approach it. I'm very sorry you're dealing with this, but the acting option seems extremely counterproductive. I know she is sensitive, but you have to find a way to have constructive discussions with her. That's an important part of communication long term. All the best to you. Good call about the passive-aggressive behavior. I hadn't thought about it that way. You are right, there is an unsustainable combination of rules here. Early on in our relationship, she established a boundary that she would refuse to take even constructive criticism and would react extremely negatively even when approached with love. This is not a boundary that can be established in an equal relationship. You need to be able to talk about problems with your partner. By taking that off the table, she's destroyed any chance you had of this working out. Without the ability to talk to her, all that's left is frustration, depression, and your love shriveling up and dying. If you want this to work out, that rule has to be scrapped now. It's going to suck. She will be upset. It's better to upset her now, when the relationship still has a chance, than letting this poison everything because she's not able to work on her rejection sensitivity. She likely needs solo therapy to work through this, and she will likely hate that suggestion. You might think it's obvious, but she could have a myriad of health issues that haven't been diagnosed. She may need to see a doctor and have full blood work completed, especially a full thyroid panel, since she's had 2 kids. Pregnancy is hell on the endocrine system, which if it's off, will cause depression, weight gain, fatigue, and foggy thinking. To list a few, muscle pain, anxiety and confusion are others. Instead of assuming what's wrong, she should go see a doctor. Not diagnosing without more info, but she appears to meet the criteria for clinical depression. Feedback about weight, habits, etc. Can feel supportive but often will have the opposite effect. Coming from a place of love and support, telling her you'll love her no matter what, and asking to go to therapy together to make your marriage stronger can be a wonderful way to show you are willing to put in work for your relationship as well. I wish you luck. Some folks are saying depression, but low thyroid hormone can cause severe lack of energy, long naps and weight gain. Low thyroid hormone is common as women get older. She should go see a doctor. Hypothyroid, anemia, perimenopause would all be relatively common issues that tend to hit women around that age and have similar symptoms. Also, if she had COVID, these also align with long-haul symptoms. Heart/breathing issues could have her feeling weak/tired. I am 29, met a guy M31 who has me questioning myself. Okay, so a little about me. I am a 29-year man, bisexual. I have only been in relationships with women as I tend to connect better with them emotionally. I've never really had much emotional connection with other men, usually just sex and not much else. I'm hetero-romantic basically. Sorry for the Eli 5, but new people always ask me about it. I recently got out of a 4-year relationship with my ex, F27. Things ended mutually, we drifted and spending loads of time together in quarantine gave us time to sort out some issues, but ultimately end the relationship. This was 4 months ago. I haven't really dated around at all. The world RN makes that difficult. But a few days ago I was at an outside bar with friends and was chatting to the guy in question, who is a bartender there. I just felt it as soon as I saw him, he just looked amazing. We chatted while I ordered drinks and got on really well. We agreed to watch a movie the day after. I felt awesome the rest of the time I was there, as I haven't had a connection like that in a few years. The next day came and I went to his place to watch a movie. Things went really well and we had sex and it was some of the best I've ever had. I don't usually stick around for long after that as I never usually have much emotional connection with men. But I stayed and we cuddled, chatted, watched more stuff and had a little more sex too. It was really nice. We've chatted since then and will be seeing each other again. But I am worried. I have never really dated any men and don't know what he expects. I'm worried that I might just be latching on to the first person to show me any love after splitting with my ex. What if I suddenly get bored of him? And I'm even more worried that he might mean more to me than I do to him. Like I said, I haven't really dated men before. When I've been with them it was very one night stand and hookup based. I just feel weirdly infatuated with him. I know this seems early and that's why I'm asking here. What do I do? Should I manage my expectations better? Play it cool or go all in? I never really had many issues dating women, but have been second guessing myself with this guy as this has never happened to me before. Should I try and arrange something that's more of a date and not just a hookup? I genuinely really enjoyed spending time with him. I just don't want to fuck this up, but I don't know what it even is yet. What do I do? We've been texting and stuff and it's been quite nice. I just don't wanna hurt myself or him. Too long didn't read. I'm bisexual but have only been in straight relationships. I've recently met and slept with a guy I actually feel a connection with and I don't know what to do. I don't wanna get hurt or hurt him, so I'm wondering how to progress this without putting too much on the line. You met a person, had great sex, plan to do it again. What's the question? I presume the same things you say and do in a relationship with a woman would be the same thing with a man. Don't overthink this.